introduction about myself. I have 22 years experience in tech. I've been a startup founder myself, having done 2 startups in the past. I've been an angel investor. I've invested in 4 startups, still hold shares in some of them back in India. On the screen are my contact details. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn or Twitter or on email. I spent most of my time leading digital and automation at a large financial services organization. And as a side hustle, I also teach and deliver solutions using generative AI. So I've been doing AI for the last decade or so. And on a practical basis, I'm also producing films using AI. I've produced now 5 films. 4 of them are short. One of them is like 45 minutes documentary. So I've been really practicing applying generative AI, and I've also been teaching that to people who are interested. So Weekend AI is my brand. I would like to introduce all of you to Weekend AI. It is into AI education. It runs a community in Hong Kong. Everyone interested in learning generative AI, sharing information. I do run a small community. There is AI productions, so under Weekend AI, where we produce movies, shots, and we also help a couple of customers do the same. And we are also getting into AI solutions and consulting. So why teaching generative AI masterclass or generative AI made simple? Obviously, I see that there's a huge market for professionals who are non-technical and who are not sure how to keep up with the rapid advancements in AI. So they're not able to leverage AI for productivity, automation, and innovation. So therefore, I came up with a structured program, which is called as the Applied Generative AI Masterclass. And it's created for non-technical professionals, and it helps them gain theoretical, but more importantly, practical real-world knowledge of how you apply generative AI to solve problems and what are the tools available out there. Finally, I wrote a book on generative AI last year. It's been around for some time. It's also available in Hong Kong. There's a book website, Generative AI for Everyone, which has all the details. And that book is also available as an audiobook. I also have a Generative AI for Everyone podcast. And I've been teaching for O'Reilly. I've taught over 1,000 professionals in the last 18 months or so, where my course is Generative AI for Everyone. So it's a fundamental 101 course. I've also run courses on generative AI for project managers, and very soon generative AI agents for everyone. So with that, this is my course website. It's called the brand is called School of Applied AI. It's created for non-technical professionals, and this is what we teach really. So if you come to my course, you learn business productivity with AI, how to do automation with AI agents, how to do content generation, content creation, and how to bring your ideas to life using no-code development. Usually, I run the courses in batches or cohorts, where we also have networking, group discussions, and we do real-world projects. This course is primarily designed for business professionals, creative professionals, and non-technical leaders. Finally, I run the Generative AI Hong Kong community. We are primarily on Meetup and Luma, and we hold events almost every month, but we got a very good network we got 2,400 members. Usually 20 or 30 end up in the community events, but we always have new members coming in from all walks of society, to be honest. We have very senior people coming in. We have people from the academia joining us. We've got startup founders coming in, and we also got people from financial services and other industries. So yeah, just reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to me. I will also post my contact details in the chat group in Zoom. I hope that is fine, Dr. Warren. So you can reach out to me. I've just passed my details to all of you.
Yeah, and
okay, with that.
Yes, thank you. And that's where I'm at, Altif, is through the Weekend AI. You know, often I'm supposed to be this expert, but no, I learned so much in that course. So no, I'm not plugging you just to take his course, but it is good. Anyway, so thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right. So today's agenda, as Dr. Warren mentioned, right? Since all of you are founders, I'm a founder myself. We're going to look at two practical use cases. But more importantly, we're also going to look at some tools, right? So yes, you can do this using ChatGPT or Claude or DeepSeek. You can just go and type some prompts and you can get these outreach messages crafted by the large language models. But we'll look at two tools because I really wanted to show you some tools which people without technical knowledge can also use. And we'll use these tools to create these outreach messages, number one. And two is we'll also look to how to create a value proposition. And we'll look at a second tool and we'll also look at how to integrate this with Telegram so that you can just do it on your phone. Okay, with that, and Dr. Warren, please keep me honest on the timing, just to make sure that we don't run out of time. So the first,
okay, no problem.
The first problem we're going to solve today is personalized outreach, right? So as a founder, how do I create a personalized outreach messages for potential mentors? They could be VCs, they could not be VCs, they could just be mentors that I like. Maybe I found them on LinkedIn, maybe I found them on their website. And then how do I create these personalized outreach messages? So the first tool I'm going to show you is called MindStudio. And it's a tool which can create AI workflows, can also create AI agents. And we're going to see how easy it is to build something in MindStudio, which can do actually both of these things. Right? So let's go ahead. I've already pre-prepared these, but I'm going to, for the benefit of this session being educational and sharing, I'm going to show you how to build this from scratch. If you're spending too much time, then I'll show you the final output eventually. Let's keep this session interactive. I encourage you to ask questions, put up your hands and ask me something if required. So this is the MindStudio environment. I just logged in. At the moment, I have a paid account, but even if you have a free account, you can just go in and see this interface, right? So I had just logged in. I clicked on a new agent button. That's all I've done, right? And this is what the interface gives me. So on the left-hand side, you'll see this is my project. It's currently untitled, so let's give it a name. Let's say live demo, personalized outreach agent. Personalized outreach agent, and then I can put an icon and stuff like that, but let's not do that. And I'll leave it at that. And then every project begins with this simple flow, right? Which is a start and an end. I think this is pretty easy to understand, right? But so every time you select the node, on the right-hand side, you see what you can do with that node. So these are called nodes, and these are connected to each other. So if I click on end, I can see what's happening in end. If I click on start, I can see, I can add variables. And also I can trigger this. I can trigger this agent or workflow using different means, right? So I can say I can trigger this on demand. I can even create a browser extension. And this is really, really powerful. Or I can invoke this via email. Or I can invoke this via API call. So as you can see, it's a very powerful thing that I can do. I can trigger this AI workflow agent via different methods. For now, I'll stick to on demand, right? Just to keep things simple. And here the problem statement is, we are founders, we have our own startup, and we want to create maybe a personalized outreach message with an interested mentor, right? Maybe at one or two mentors that we're interested, we want to create a message and then send them an outreach email, maybe. Okay, so one of the blocks we'll use is, one is we need this AI workflow or system to know about our startup, because it doesn't know anything about our startup. That's number one. And two is then we need to also specify what kind of mentor are we interested in, right? So let's take that as an input, right? So there is something called as user input. These are nodes or blocks, and I can just insert a block called user input. So as easy as that, right? Just click on plus, add a block, right? This is MindStudio AI. And this, all of this you can do on a free account, just to try things out. So now I've clicked on the user input, I clicked on the plus button. I say I want to create a new input variable, and that variable will be called maybe my startup summary. startup summary, and what does your startup do? All I'm doing is creating an input interface. What does your startup do? And that's it. That's my one field. I just want to take input on startup. So I'm done with that. Nothing else to be done. I just go to user input and I create another one. So this one, I call it mentor URL. Maybe URL, maybe the name of the mentor. Now, if I give it a name, maybe it will try to search Google, but maybe there are, with the same name, you got multiple people, right? So it might get confused. So I might even paste the URL of the mentor. I might go to LinkedIn, find somebody I'm interested in to come in as a mentor, and then just use that link. Therefore, I'm calling it a mentor URL. But you can play around with these things. So I say, okay, fine. Now I've got two things. I've got mentor URL and a startup summary, because these are the inputs that I need to give to the AI in order to craft a personalized outreach email, right? So created these two user inputs. I go back to the main flow. All clear up till now? You got start, end, which is the default nodes. I've added a user input. Now, I want the AI to be smart enough to do a little bit of research on the mentor, right? So obviously you want to know what are the interests, likes and dislikes of the mentor. What does the mentor do? What's their background? So that we can craft a very personalized outreach message for them, right? So let's add a very simple Google search. As simple as that, right? I just go down. These are all the blocks that I have. And then I just select the very simple one, search Google, right? And I just add it here. So as you can see, right, I'm just adding these blocks, just logical blocks, and it's like creating a workflow for me, right? So let's go back to the user input. Oh, user input seems to only have one. I added the mentor URL, but it's not appearing in my user input. So let's go back to the workflow. Yeah, let's add this mentor URL back. Okay. Now I select this node. I see both of my inputs, both are required. And if I go back to the startup summary, you'll see I defined variables, right? So this is where when anybody enters the summary of their startup, it will get captured in this variable. Similarly, anybody enters the mentor URL, it will get captured in this variable, right? Variable is a place where you simply store these values, okay? And we'll see that in action. So now I have the startup summary, I have the mentor URL. I will go and search the mentor. So my mentor URL, I'll say, please search the mentor URL. And in order to use variables, I have to use double braces. And then automatically it gives me a nice drop down, put mentor URL. So please search this URL and produce the results in another variable called mentor details. So all I'm doing is just passing these things and using variables and getting some details of the mentor via a Google search. And finally, once all this is done, I'll just call this generate text. This is where the large language model comes into play, right? So I've got a large language model here, and then I'll just copy and paste the prompt. And I'll say, given this startup summary, and this is my variable, this is where I've taken details about the startup and the mentor profile. And this is all the Google search on the mentor. And then I can give it a prompt, right? Please come in with a pitch. Please present 3 email pitches I can use to outreach. And you can play around with this prompt. You can even go to ChatGPT and get a very good prompt, right? So this is just experimental. I just put a very simple prompt. But importantly, I've given this AI workflow some context. I've given it the startup summary, which is a variable, and I've also given it mentor details, which is another variable. So let's keep it this way. We can do more things. We can actually put in a very good system prompt so that the AI or the large language model then also follows these as instructions. But let's not go into that. Let's keep things simple for now. So I'll recap. Start node, I haven't done anything except say this is on demand. Then user input, I added 2 variables, details about my startup and a link for the mentor. Then I used the mentor link and gave it to Google search and said, search this mentor URL and find out what you can about this mentor. And finally, I've taken the results from there and given a prompt. And this generate text is nothing but calling a large language model, right? And then once this will do its job, and it will present the output to the user. As you can see, the output behavior is displayed to user, right? So let's try this. This is good fun. So I can go into preview. Even if you are on the free plan, it will let you do all of this. And then I say open draft agent to see how this is working. And now you can see it's given me a screen. This is where it's going to capture all the inputs, right? So my startup weekend AI is all about AI education for non-technical professionals. I could put any description of any startup, but let's say I just put this for example. And then let's say I go on LinkedIn, and then I pick up a LinkedIn URL, and I say, okay, Aman Narayan, I know this person, so maybe I want him to be my mentor. Then I click this link, right? So I've given information about my startup. When I click on next, this will get captured in a variable. This will get captured in a variable. This one will be first searched. Google will try to reach this link and see if it can get information. Maybe it can't. If something is behind a firewall, then obviously it can't get it, right? So you got to see what is behind a login, or maybe there is some information about your mentor in the public domain. Then please use those links, right? But let's try it out. Click on next. And there you see. It's gone. It's figured out from the link. It's figured out this is Aman Narayan, and then it's given me, and it knows what Aman Narayan has done. He's looked at banking. He's looked at Google, and then he said pitch number 1 is this. Pitch number 2 is this, and this is literally pitching my startup to him, right? But maybe you don't want that, in which case you'll have to go back and change your prompt or have a better system prompt. And then this is pitch 2, because he's also a purpose-driven leader. So then you use this, and then you have another outreach. And then third is also into platforms and ecosystems. So then based on that, it's given a third pitch. Now again, this pitch could be short, and you could again go back into your system prompt and then do a much better pitch, much longer. You could advise the AI to give you much longer to play with the system prompt. But so easily, in what, 5 to 7 minutes, we created a system which we can publish and we can use time and time again. And we can even change the mentor. So maybe Dr. Warren, maybe we'll look at your LinkedIn profile. Should we do that?
Sure. I hope you got the one from the link.
Because there are multiple. Okay.
Yeah,
you are in that chat.
I put it in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll take it from there. So AI e-commerce. Let's say this time I'm an AI e-commerce startup, right? And then I give this mentor URL. And then you can see, right, it's tailoring it based on Dr. Warren's experience. It's tailoring the pitch based on the experience. Right. Cool. Any questions? I'll just take a pause here and see if there are any questions from anyone. All good? Okay. All right. The next thing I want to show you is already pre-made. I've already pre-made that particular project. So in this case, I will directly use LinkedIn. And I will show you how to use a similar workflow, but instead of a form, it simply is a Google Chrome plugin, right? So what I showed you was a form. So you had to input the startup, you had to input all of this, right? But how about if you have something where you, let's say, I just go and pick up somebody I know, right? Okay, so let's say this person, right? And if you create a Chrome plugin, you have to download this MindStudio Chrome plugin. I'm going to click on that. And now you can see it is in my browser, right? In my browser, and it shows me all the workspace agents that I have published, right? So this is generating personalized outreach emails to this particular mentor. So let's say I'm browsing the web and I come across a mentor, and I just click on this plugin, bring it up, and I say, oh, I like this person to be my mentor. So then I just run my plugin. So now it takes the information from the page itself. It figures out who this mentor is, and then it starts creating this value proposition. So this is the second part of the demo, and we can do this by some other way, but this is a value prop for him to become a mentor, right? And you can read this message, and in a single click, you can just click to copy and send them an email, right? So this basically says, hope this email found you well. My name is this. I'm founder of this, blah, blah, blah. As a fellow, your background resonates with me. At Weekend AI, we are doing this. I'm particularly inspired by your commitment. Would you be open to a brief? Thank you for considering the request, blah, blah, blah. And then this is a second pitch, so on and so forth. So very easily, you can create these Chrome plugins, which look at the context of a page, and then can do pitches for you, or you can create your own system where you can put any mentor's URL, and that will create a personal outreach email. Okay, so that was like demo tool number 1, showing you how to create outreaches with MindStudio. Any questions or comments from anyone on the call? Dr. Warren, is this useful?
Yes. And for those who have questions, maybe you ask questions at the end. Normally everyone's pretty quiet, so
okay.
I'll open it up at the end.
So the second example I showed you, which was in the browser, it's basically this. This is what it does. This is the same plugin which has been shown to you, which sits in the browser. All you do is the start node, you say this is a browser extension. That's all you do, right? And then you have a second node, which is basically calling a large language model, and it's just got a good prompt. So there's a very nice prompt which says what needs to be done, right? So identify the key details from the mentor's webpage or LinkedIn. Find their experience, find their industry, find their mission. Then take all the details of what they do. Then write the email in this style. And this is pretty easy nowadays to do. Just go to ChatGPT, tell ChatGPT what you want, and it'll create a nice system prompt. The key is you tell ChatGPT to create a system prompt for you, and it'll create this very easily. And then you tweak it, you read it, you make sure that it meets your purpose, the purpose for why you're outreaching, make sure everything is relevant, and then you just copy it in the system prompt. The system prompt is where the large language model follows your instructions each time. On every message, it will follow this. This is like a background instruction to the large language model. And that's it. And then in the prompt here to the actual model, we just say use the provided content and then do all of this. And what I've done is I've also created a variable where I've given some details about the startup. This is just a variable. It's just a value which I've sort of hard coded in this variable, firm details. And you can put any information about your own startup. So now it knows about your startup, and it knows about the page, and the page has information about the mentor. And those are the two things it needs to marry, right? It needs to know what your startup does. It needs to know what your mentor background is. And using the prompt, it will then put the two together, and it will create a very personalized outreach email on a click of a button. So that's all this MindStudio does. And it's a really powerful package for non-coders. Yes, it's got certain limitations. It cannot do everything under the sun, but it can do a lot of these simple workflows simply out of the box. And not only that, you have all these agents that you see, your executive summary, YouTube summary, remove bias, enrich content. There's so many of these automations which are already built in. Rewrite content for a new audience. You can click on it and you can bring it into your workspace, and you can really copy this and tweak it based on your requirements. This is really good. Rewrite pitch. You rewrite a pitch. So you click on any of these agents and you just say make a copy. And when you make a copy, this comes in your workspace. And that's it, then it becomes yours. Just duplicates it. It shows you how it's done. And then you take this, you study this, you see how it's working, and then you change it based on your requirements. That's how simple this is. All right, so this was tool number one. I'm gonna do a similar exercise in another tool, which is so very much powerful. It's called N8N. And it's one of those tools which technical people can use, non-technical people can use, but it's really flexible in terms of you can really do complex workflows, agents, a whole bunch, right? So I'm going to just bring up that tool. And maybe we want, Dr. Warren, how much time do we have?
We have 25 minutes.
Okay, cool. So I've already done this before the meeting I just prepared, but I'm more than happy to show you this tool from scratch. How many of you know about this tool, N8N? Okay, yes, Dr. Warren knows about this tool. Cool. Anybody else heard of this? So this is a no-code automation platform which can be installed on your desktop, which can be installed on your own server. It's open source, and you can also go to a cloud-hosted version. So what you see on the screen, and I'm using a different profile called Y-Shots, is a cloud-hosted version. So I'm using a cloud-hosted version. So I'm trusting the cloud to take all my data and see what I'm doing. But you can install this on your own server. You can install this in your own organization. You can also install this on your own desktop, right? So, and it's also, there's an open source version also available. And it's really, really powerful. Even if you don't know how to code, even if you know how to code, you can learn this, right? So let's see how you do a similar outreach using N8N. And I'm just going to show you 1 second. And not only that, we're also going to integrate this with Telegram. So I've already done that once, but let me do it again from scratch. If you're not able to complete it, then we'll just go back to the version which I have pre-prepared. So this is what the interface looks like when you bring in a new workflow. So you name it first. You come in and you say, okay, what is this workflow?
Altaf, we can still see the MindStudio.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know.
Sure.
Maybe I just need to share my entire desktop. Thank you. It's not giving me the option to share my desktop for some reason. I can only share windows at a time. Okay, can you see N8N now? Let me know what you're able to see. Yeah. Is this better, Dr. Warren?
Yes, this is great. Thank you.
Okay, okay, all right. So this is what N8N looks like. When you first log in, this is what you see, right? So you will see, so these are workflows which I've already done in the past. So you won't see this will be empty for you, but you'll be able to use, they give you a free trial for 14 days. And then after 14 days, you need to decide if you want to pay or if you want to stay on the plan. So you click on this create workflow button. You can create AI workflows. You can create AI agents using this tool. So one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to interface this with Telegram, right? Now, for the first time when you connect Telegram, there is a process, and it's very well documented. I've already done that, so won't go through that completely. You can check, there are lots of documentation on how to do this. I've already integrated Telegram on a certain channel. So I'll just use it for now. And that's it. I'll just bring in Telegram. So again, I'll just do this again. So I click on tab. And the first thing I need to do is, how do you trigger this workflow? Similar to what we did in MindStudio, how do you trigger this? Trigger this manually, you trigger this on a schedule, you trigger this on an API call, on a form submission. There are like lots of options. But in this case, I'm going to select Telegram. I'm going to say, okay, I need you to be triggered on a Telegram message. So Telegram on message, right? That's it. So I figured out how to now invoke this automation, right? Now I also have Telegram open here, so I can immediately test it. So this is the bot. And once you integrate this with Telegram, you'll create a bot, right? And because this is still inactive, you'll have to click on this, execute workflow. And as you see now, it's waiting for an event from Telegram, right? So there's nothing but a Telegram trigger waiting for something to happen. If I go back here, say hello, and so this is just got triggered, right? So this is as simple as that. Once you set up the connections, it's very easy. Now, my automation knows about Telegram. If I click on this, it also tells me.
Altaf, sorry, we're not seeing anything.
Okay, because the desktop is not shared.
Mhm.
Because for some reason.
Yeah, it doesn't work in for Founders Institute for some reason.
Desktop doesn't work?
Yeah, desktop sharing. Desktop don't worry, you're not going crazy.
Yeah, I was like, why? Okay, so now I share all the windows. Yeah, okay. I just share all the windows then.
Thanks, Joy.
Yeah, because I wouldn't know which window it's showing, right? Because it'll open up a number of windows. So okay, maybe I just show you the output then.
Yeah.
So okay. Can you all see this? You share again.
Share the screen.
Yeah. Okay, so this looks complicated. It's not. It's very, very simple. The trigger starts from Telegram, and then there's this powerful thing called AI agent. So if you don't know about AI agent is basically a piece of software which has got a large language model, it's got some memory, and it's got some tools. So it can actually do something for us, right? And these things, you can ignore them. This is just a if statement. And all it is doing is checking if my Telegram message starts with VP, right? And why I've done this, I'll tell you. It's just value proposition. VP stands for value proposition. Because maybe I want this automation to do multiple things for me in Telegram. And then I'm creating my own language. If I start the Telegram message with VP, I want you to create a value prop outreach, right? So I'm just creating my own little thing. You can just completely ignore it or not have it. But this is the most important aspect, the AI agent. The AI agent is connected to a model, right? In this case, it's connected to GPT 4.1. So that's the brain, the large language model. That's the brain of the agent. Plus, it's got some memory, which is a simple memory. It remembers the last 5 conversations. And then it's got a tool which calls an API. So what is this API? This API simply mimics Google search. So I'm using a third-party API called Tavily, just a third-party API. And all I'm doing is just searching for that person, for that mentor, which is the same thing we did in MindStudio, right? So all I need a tool which can go and search the mentor and get me some information about the mentor, right? And this all goes back then to the agent, and the agent prompt looks like this. You will receive a message and you're going to research this person in the message. Use the search tools provided and then come up with a detailed value proposition for this person to become your startup mentor. Persuade them to become a mentor for your startup. Clearly outline what you hope to gain. You can bigger. Yeah, clearly outline what you hope to gain from their guidance and their unique perspective, blah, 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 right? Again, you can tweak this message. The important point is I have a variable inside this message. And this variable is nothing but the name of the mentor, right? Why I say substring 3? Because the first 2 characters are VP, which says value proposition. And that you can ignore, but I just made it like that. And then the next thing is a space. So really the name starts from the 4th character. So this starts from 0. So 3 means the 4th character. So it's just some logic built in to just pick up the name. That's basically it. I've got an AI agent. It's got a brain. It's got a ability to search Google. And it looks at this whole automation looks at the first 2 characters. If there is VP, then it will get triggered. It will call the AI agent. And it will produce an output. And finally, it will respond to Telegram on a certain chat. Now I can, once I put this together, then I can just go in. First, I need to, because this is in test mode at the moment, I need to start executing this workflow. Now this is waiting. This is waiting for something to happen, right? So I just go VP Aman. I can even post in the link here, but let's say I just do Aman Narayan. Now, we do not know, there might be two Aman Narayans, it might look at the wrong one, but that's fine. Click on go. And there you see, my automation has got triggered. It's calling, searching, it's doing all these things. Let's see what it comes back with. Maybe there's an error. No, it's still working. Boom. Now, once I set this up and make this live, on my phone, I can just be doing this. Based on my research, he's a respected fintech leader. Yeah, correct. He got it all correct. Did the right search. Here are 3 value proposition messages tailored to persuade him to become a mentor for your education startup. And there you go. First, message variation 1, message variation 2, message variation 3. If I'm not happy, I go back, change the prompt in my agent, maybe give it a system prompt and create better messages until I'm happy. And then I can just use this multiple times. Dr. Warren Linger, Linger, is that correctly spelled? Okay, let me just try this without your LinkedIn. Oh, I gotta run this because it's in test mode. Gotta start. So this VP thing is just ignore it. This is just me coming up with my own logic, because now I can use the same automation to do other things. I can create my own pseudo 2-character logic and then ask it to do multiple things. Yeah, here it's created a pitch. First, it's given me information about Dr. Warren Linger. Is this correct? Xmersive, Robolex gaming engine. Yeah. And then here are 3 value prop messages for Dr. Warren. Number 1, I'm the founder of the startup. I'm doing this. You're groundbreaking work at so and so, and then so again, this took 15 minutes to put together. If you got these connections in place, and you can make this live, and then this will just work on its own each time you go to Telegram and send that message. Yeah, that's it from me. Don't have much. I wanted to show you these 2 tools and wanted to show you how easy it is to create automations nowadays if you know the right tools and if you spend a little bit of time learning these tools.
I have a question for our audience. Why Telegram instead of WhatsApp?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your personal preference. WhatsApp, just you need to have a business account. You need to have. Telegram is much easier to integrate. Let's put it this way. That's why I use it for the demo. I also use it in my training class, because you just have to follow a series of steps. Whereas with the Meta, you have to go and create a business account to get the WhatsApp API connected, right? It's just a process. Maybe you have to go and prove mine is a business, provide some documents. They might approve, they might reject. So there's a process to follow. And at the moment, my Facebook account itself is blocked for some reason. I haven't used it for 2 years. So I gotta create a new Facebook account and get that. Then even in WhatsApp, this should be possible. It's very much possible to do this with WhatsApp.
So as we use something like Telegram, that means I can just say, I'm on the train or I'm in an Uber, and I type in a name, and boom, there is my 3 emails.
Well, yeah, your value propositions. Yes. It searches for the person. Sometimes it will get mixed up. Let's say it's a very common name, right? And then it may get mixed up. It may find the wrong person. I'm using a very special tool called Tavily. This tool is created for language models to search the web. So there's a very specialized tool. It's not your normal Google search, right? So it connects your agent to the web. It's really good. It's friendly for developers, and it's got a very powerful search API, which is very, very grounded. So I'm using this special tool or special API. It's free for 1,000 calls. So I'm on a free plan. And as you can see, right, there is no Tavily node in N8N. So I simply call it using the HTTP node. And here I've just called this API, api.tavily.com/search. And I pass it the person to search, right? So in my query is Dr. Warren Linger, right? So it knows that it has to search. And here in the JSON, I say that this is my query. So in my query, Dr. Warren Linger is passed, and then it returns results. It gets everything about Dr. Warren Linger. And I can control to get images or not. How many results do I want? Maybe I want 15 results. Then I can just also manipulate all those results. I can transform the data, and then I can use it further for my language model. So I'm using Tavily to do a good, powerful search. You could use SERP API. You could use Perplexity to search. You could use so many other options here because you can give an agent multiple tools. And then once you have an output, you just pass it back to Telegram. So it's just start with Telegram message, trigger the agent. The agent has a brain. Just configure it once. Call the API to know more about the mentor, prospective mentor, and let the agent work on its instructions with the prompt and figure out how to create the outreach messages and put the output to Telegram.
Okay. So with this, you could basically set it up to where you can do research, which next week or in 3 weeks, not next week. Okay. In 3 weeks, there's people in the waiting room. Yeah. So in 3 weeks, our next session will be on doing sales, right? And selling to customers. So would that be that much different than something like this?
Yeah, it will be similar, right? It is just basically when you're doing sales, you're also trying to create pitches, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have to create a pitch. And again, N8N is a wonderful tool. It's got a lot of these automations and templates already built in. So as you can see on the N8N website, there are like 4,000 workflow templates. And you can just click on sales, and it gives you all these sales templates. There's 636 sales templates. And you can see all the things like related to sales. They're all there. And in order to use them, it's very simple. You just let's say you scrape recent news about a company before a call, or let's say we like something CRM lead generation. If you like something, if you like one of the workflows, then all you got to do is go into that workflow, click on it, and then you can just copy and paste into your workspace and bring it in as a template, change the parameters, and then use it yourself. So there's a whole community which is creating these workflows and then sharing with the rest. So there are 600 sales templates, right? You can actually click, you can look inside what it does. If you like it, you can just click on use for free, copied it, I come back into my window. I go back here, say create a new workflow, paste. Boom, the whole workflow is now in my workspace. Now I can see what this person has done. I can see the prompts, I can see what they're doing. I can just make changes, just use it. So anybody serious about automation, especially for startup founders, where you are, initial days, you are constrained on resources, and you should try to automate as much as possible, especially with the current breed of AI tools out there. Highly encourage and recommend you to learn some of these automation tools. All right, Dr. Warren, that's it from me.
Of the two, would you say N8N or MindStudio is the most useful?
Well, MindStudio is very high. It's very quick to do. It's very easy to learn for non-technical people. Whereas if you really want something which can also deal with complexity, which can also do code, then I think N8N. But you have to spend more time learning N8N. Like for example, N8N has something called as these code nodes. Right? This double braces is a code node, which is inside it has code. So where you can't just do with simple nodes, you can actually write JavaScript code to do something very, very specific. And again, nowadays, all the code, it's got Ask AI. So you can just ask AI what you want. It will generate the code snippet for you and it'll bring it in here. So you don't even need to know how to code. You just need to know how to read code and make sure that it's logically correct. That's it. Or you can always go to ChatGPT and ask for an N8N JavaScript code snippet, and ChatGPT will also give you. So yeah, N8N is more powerful, but it's got slightly more steeper learning curve. MindStudio is extremely easy to pick up and is very powerful. It does a lot of things out of the box, but it works in a specific way. And you have to get to a paid program to do anything useful with MindStudio, right? Because you got to publish your agents so that others can use it. And then with the paid program also, you got limited number of tokens, etc. N8N, steeper learning curve, but you can install it on your server. You can install it in your organization. You can use the cloud version. You can host it on Hostinger, for example, or GoDaddy. It's much more flexible. And you can decide what tools to use, what models to use, etc.
Now, I think I've asked this question to you, but can we put, let's say, an N8N automation into our own WordPress website?
Yeah, you can connect N8N automation to a WordPress website very easily, because you got these things called webhooks. Webhook. So from your WordPress website, you got to call a webhook, which is nothing but just a URL. So as long as you got the ability to call a URL, any workflow can be triggered. But it's just a matter of triggering it, right? Once you trigger the workflow successfully, it will do what it is designed to do.
Fantastic.
So yes, very much possible.
Okay. So can you show us the LinkedIn post form there? And what is that there on the page? This.
It's just a form that N8N creates for you.
Oh.
This node itself, if you look at this node, right? This node itself is a form. So when you execute this, this is your own custom form.
Oh.
So you put in these parameters and you sub, because this form is also created by N8N. So if you fill in the details and then you submit, the same thing what we did in MindStudio, right? Then that will trigger. That will trigger the rest of the automation.
Okay.
So this again, if you are in a workflow, then you can like form and then you create this form, right? So you generate this from scratch.
Okay. And they just renamed it LinkedIn post form.
Yeah. You got to rename your nodes, right? Because these nodes are coming with a different name, but as you build your workflow, you just rename the nodes. So here you can come in and you can rename the node. So then you know what each of the node does, right? So in our case, for example, we used HTTP request, right? But this is actually search. So this, I can call this Tavali search mentor. Right now, when I go back to my workflow, I know why I use this, right? I search the mentor using this particular tool. So this way you can document your workflow.
Fantastic. So when we look at mentors and advisors, we want someone to help us with our company. But often for startup founders, one of the most important mentors and advisors are partners. Meaning, if I partner with a provider, then that provider can also pass on leads and generate, they can give us. So it's very important for startup founders to make your providers your partners. So they are giving you leads, they are helping you, and you are helping them by giving them additional leads. And this creates that value that it goes back and forth. And those partners are less likely to overcharge you. They're less likely to try to take advantage of you because you're giving them far more value than just the business. And so when we're doing these things, when we could easily change all of the things we did today from just mentors or advisors to partners. And so that, and that's something that often startup founders miss. And I know I did, for years as a startup founder, I would just think, okay, they're a provider. I have to watch out for them. They might charge me too much, or they might go out of business. But if I'm helping them get more business, they're more likely to stay in business. And I'm helping them get more business and advising them and giving them tips, tricks, and the latest ideas, they're more likely to give me the same. And they're more likely to build that loyalty and that trust. So that's really what we're looking for, is we want to keep that loyalty and trust. So
Yeah,
right now,
absolutely agree.
questions, everyone. Bion, sorry that you left. Okay. So the meeting chat. So for some reason I can't pop into my meeting chat. All right. So now, who else has a question? Okay.
Any
There we
questions?
go. There's 9 new ones. Eureka. Okay. Hi, Eureka. Bye, Eureka. Okay. What is the difference with May? Joseph has a question. What is the difference with make? I don't know if I understand that one, Joseph.
Yeah, make.com is another automation platform similar to N8N.
Mm-hmm.
So it is very similar. So no point learning two, but just learn one of them. N8N is the most popular one at the moment, even more popular than Make. And it's
Okay.
got things like these code nodes. You can install it locally. You can install, it's open source. Make is not open source. So the open source advantage is you also got a lot of community nodes. Nodes are these building blocks, right? So these building blocks, because it's open source, others like us are also building some of these blocks and they're sharing with the community. So I think it's growing much faster. But yeah, if your requirements are also met with make.com, then by all means, and if you have learned make.com, then you can also use make. And there are many of them. There are many automation tools out there.
Okay. And so, did Indefon get back? Yeah. Indefon mentioned that he would like to try to pitch, but he has dropped off. And so I have again shared
I'm
my
here.
info. You're there? Oh,
Yeah.
great. So can you pitch?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so go ahead. And everyone, just to introduce you, Indefon is one of our apprentices for our chapter for Founders Institute. And he wanted to become an apprentice so he could get into the ecosystem of startups. And I've already introduced him to an investor a couple times, and we're going to see one of his pitches that he pitched to an investor. And so, and Altif, can you share your info again in case someone came in late or they missed it from before?
Yeah, I just did that in the chat.
Oh, okay, great. And so, Joseph, for those of you who are interested in, I'm going to put in so go ahead and share your screen, Defon. And get ready to present. And this is a WhatsApp group, so you can join and keep tabs on any of the new happenings for Founders Institute AI. And to get the notes from this, obviously Altaf has to pass them to me tomorrow, and he will give you not the whole big thing, but more focused on what you need.
Can you guys hear me now?
We can hear you, but we can't see your deck.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Okay.
Okay, the brief introduction. Zifon Ajone. Currently, I'm a growth marketer. I like to term myself as a growth marketer. I have over 7 years of experience in growth marketing. I've helped startups, mostly e-commerce businesses, scale through data-driven strategies. And I exited my first digital agency, Maddies, in 2023, after working with over 200 clients from, I think, 6 countries. And we help them drive measurable growth at every stage. Today, I'm going to pitch to you my current startup, which we are currently working on. I'm the co-founder. It's called LajiPay. LajiPay, we're helping Cameroonians to become more financially responsible with their mobile money. Mobile money is, well, I say, I'll term it as cash app for the African industry. It's mostly used in Africa and widely used in Cameroon. It has even beaten the banking system. Everybody uses this, but not even half of the population have a bank account. So the opportunity we are transforming a $1.68 trillion mobile money market in Africa, solving critical financial management problems for over 12 million Cameroonians. And we're building all of this on a validated transaction platform called EasyMomo. Well, currently, LajiPay exists as EasyMomo, and we want to create a complete financial OS. The problem we are seeking to solve is 87% of mobile money users, myself including, struggle with usability, complex USSD codes, which tend to create over 30% error rates. Savings disciplines, 82% fail to reach financial goals, something that I struggle with personally also. I struggled with, and bill payment management, fragmented experience across 3+ apps. It's not a one simplified solution. So the target market, like I earlier said, is $1.68 trillion in Africa, with $1 trillion market in Africa in general, with Cameroon $900 million market in Cameroon. That's the mobile money market in Cameroon. So currently we currently have over 10,000 organic downloads with zero marketing spend. We are only available on Android at the moment. It's called EasyMomo, and we have 1,000 daily active users, and we're generating over 517,000 monthly gross transaction volume and 60% day 7 retention. That's more than the average, the industry average, and 35% of our users requested for savings and bill pay features. So these are current traction that we have. And the solution we are implementing currently is a goal-based smart wallet that locks funds for specific financial responsibilities, a receipt-triggered savings, automatic prompts or money receipts from each time there's an alert from mobile money, because it's mobile money with your SIM card. So it's going to trigger each time you receive an alert, and direct bill payments from safe funds. You can save, and then at the end of the month, you can pay your bills directly. You're saving for your goal. You can save for your rent. You can save for whatever goal you set, and at the end of the month, you pay directly from there without necessarily getting into your mobile money account, and which keeps your lives organized and focused. And another feature we're looking to implement is the financial dashboard, which has AI-powered insights and recommendation. How does our market competition currently look like? Well, currently we have one major savings competitor called Kwa in Cameroon, but they are based there only for savings. It's another app where you used to save. You can withdraw money from your mobile money account and save to the app. And the other section, we have the mobile money payment systems by MTN Cameroon and Orange Money. That is mobile money by MTN Cameroon and Orange Money by Orange Cameroon. And those are the only mobile money players in Cameroon at the moment. UBA started, but they are not really, but MTN and Orange have really captured the market, and they make up the bulk of the $900 million market value. And we have the banking system, which is still very underdeveloped, I would say. Not up to 30% of the users have a bank. So our solution we are bringing combines here. It comes in the middle, combines the savings, the mobile money payments, and the banking into one seamless, simplified app where it completes the full financial loop from savings to payments and banking.
Okay, go ahead and wrap it up.
Yes, our revenue model. This is our revenue model. We transaction fee of 1%, and we're projected to hit $10,000 per month by month.
We can't hear your voice in the phone.
Okay, what about now?
Still low.
What about now?
Better.
Okay, so the transaction fees. Here's our revenue model. We planning to use transaction fees, premium subscriptions, and banking and utility partnerships. With a transaction fee of 1 to 2%, premium subscriptions $5 per month, and the users are going to have the added advantage of advanced saving goals, financial insights dashboards, and zero fees on payments and transfers. This is our 3-year forecast. Currently, we are not generating any revenue, but the app is being used by 1,000 plus daily users, and annual gross transaction volume of $6 million. When you look at the 517,000 gross transaction volume currently, and by the end of this year, we're looking to an annual revenue of the end of year 1, we're looking at an annual revenue of $380,000 with a daily active users of 6,000. Year 2, 192,000 with a daily active users of 27,000, and then year 3, 693,000 annual revenue with daily active users of 88,000.
Okay, and Devon, I'm going to stop you there because in Founders Institute, we really focus on finishing up. Yeah, go ahead and click that team slide. But we really want to focus on starting and finishing on time. And
Okay.
I'm really excited that you could share this with Mercy, and I'd love to hear how that's going. But at this point, we do the 5 minutes. So thank you very much, and really appreciate it. And can't wait to see you in the future. Also, for those of you who I just shared a link, and oh, there it is. So, and this is Pitch Camp. This is another, setting. This is the last thing, I promise. So just setting some expectations, or planting a seed, I would say. We have this, for those of you who are in Hong Kong, we have Pitch Camp, and the normal fee for something like this would be $21,000, but we waived it because we're doing it in partnership with Baptist University, and they wanted to send some students, and they wanted those students to work with real founders. So we've got quite a few founders. We only have a few slots left. I know that's a sales thing, but just to plant a seed. And if you're looking for more information, go ahead and click on that link. But let me just stop sharing that one. And like I always want to do, and start on time and end on time. So I really do appreciate all of you for sticking around. I think we've got almost a full group, just a few dropped off for other commitments. And for any of you, you've got my info. So please ask questions, ask, because then you get answers, right? And for Altif, where I think he's dropped too. So just want to, again, thank all of you. I appreciate my friends, Erica, Michael, and Defon. Thank you for sharing, and we will see you in the next one. Again, the next session will be on the 26th. And for those of you, if you look in yeah, thanks a lot. And yeah, go ahead and click those links or copy those links for the WhatsApp group and for the Google form, so you can get the notes and things like that, just so we don't lose touch, because it's so easy. You get really excited in something like this, and then the next thing you get busy tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And so we don't want to be a drag on you. We just want to make sure that you get the value that you can use. to make your company and your startup successful. So with that, thank you very much, everyone. Goodbye and good luck, and we'll see you later.